Well, good evening and welcome to our first Facebook live streaming question and answer with Conserve School students. We hope this hour will allow you to have a chance to learn a little bit more about Conserve School and how one semester of the life of a sophomore or junior in high school can be transformative and help them move forward on their path as environmental stewards. I'd like to start off the evening by inviting these four students that are with me tonight to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about where they're from. But before I do that, I should probably let you know that my name is Stephen Anderson and I'm the head of school here at Conserve School. I've been here for about 18 years now and I look forward to being here when you may come to Conserve School in the future. So if we could start at the far end with Coulter and we'll work our way this way with the mic.
Hello, my name's Coulter. I'm from outside of Superior, Wisconsin, and I learned about Conserve School from a friend of mine who was applying at the time.
I'm Georgia. I'm from Door County, Wisconsin, and I also heard through word of mouth from a family friend.
I am Tierney from Madison, Wisconsin, and I heard about Conserve School through the Aldo Leopold Nature Center summer camps that I used to do.
My name is Emily. I'm from Bayfield, Wisconsin, and I learned about Conserve through an alumni.
Great, thank you. Now, I'd encourage all of you who are watching, if you have any questions about Conserve School, to take advantage of the chance to add those questions to the comment section on this Facebook Live stream, and our assistants in the background will go through your questions and offer them up to our panel here. So Kate Hool is on the other end of the microphone, so you'll hear her name from time to time. And Kate, do you have a question for us?
Yes. Lisa asks, what most surprised you about your time at Conserve, and what's your biggest takeaway from attending Conserve?
Ooh, okay. So there's been a lot of surprises here at Conserve. Things really keep you on your toes, that's for sure. And so one of the things is there are a lot of things to do after school, right? There are a lot of activities and clubs and opportunities, and I really, really love that coming from a small school. So when we get all these things together, plus homework, and also if you want to work out after school, it can be a little hard to get some sleep, So that's something that is kind of surprising. And then what was the second one?
What's your biggest takeaway
My
from
biggest
attending
takeaway.
Conserve, or what has changed you in some way, whether subtle or big?
Yeah. Something that has changed me is just looking at every side of the story, and it's really opened my mind up to being kind of a more open-minded person, and I really like that about Conserve because you get to see each side of the story. Yeah. Anyone else?
So one thing that surprised me most was how wonderful the classes ended up being. I really have had a great time in all of the classes thus far, whether it be English or history or science. They all really bring something that I've never really had before in an educational experience. My biggest takeaway, well, obviously the knowledge that I learned from taking the classes, but also the friendships that I've really gotten to have and the people I've been able to connect with since being here have really been fantastic.
Yeah, I would agree with Emily on what surprised me about Conserve School. It's time management is a really big part of it, and that was really important for me to learn. And it's also doubles as one of my big takeaways. And as to go off of Turney, I've also learned a lot about me as an individual, and that's one of my biggest takeaways.
One thing that's really surprised me is how awesome all the people are here. Everyone is so cool. I have the best roommate ever, and so yeah, that's been really awesome. And then one thing that I've learned here is just I've gotten a lot more confident and in my abilities and in my thinking and stuff.
That's great. So we're going to move on to the next question. Holly asks, what do you feel you can bring back from Conserve School to your home schools to pass on what you've learned? And is there anything that you can put into practice right away?
I think, like they mentioned earlier, time management is a really great thing that I've learned here. And so, with that, I think I'm going to be a lot more efficient and I'm going to be able to get a lot more done. And maybe that's schoolwork or community work, but I think that's going to carry on.
Great.
Something that I can immediately put into practice when I return home is probably going to be I have a newfound love for the outdoors again. So I think, since being here, I'm really going to be trying to get outside more and learn more about the environment where I'm from and all that sort of thing.
So here we learn a lot about using our voice And I think it's really a really powerful tool. And I think that's something that I can bring back to my community, how to use my voice, because you hear all the time like, oh, just use your voice, but like here we're taught how to do that exactly. And when it comes to advocating for important issues to yourself, that is a really powerful tool to use. So I think that's something that I can bring back to my community.
Something I know I already kind of implemented over Thanksgiving break was reusable bags. Since my education here, I've really realized how small changes can make a big impact, and that's something I really want to do is bring that education level back and start small, but hopefully get a lot bigger as like we move on and I get more comfortable and well known throughout the community. So yeah.
Great. So, we have a question specifically for Coulter. How do you balance your climbing life with your life here at Conserve School?
Well, the gym, like the weight room in the LRC, is a really great resource. And so I've been able to do a lot of things in there, and I've been able to stay in pretty good shape. It's definitely been hard not actually climbing, although there is a climbing wall here, and so that's really awesome. But I've been able to keep it up for the most part.
For those who don't know the little context, that Coulter actually delayed coming to Conserve School for a year so he could attend an international climbing event.
Okay. So here is a question from a future student, Chloe. She says, I'm attending next semester. What advice do you have for me? That's a great question.
I don't know if you're from Wisconsin or not, or northern, the northern states, but it does get really cold here. Has it gone below 0 yet? Okay, it hasn't gone below 0 yet, but you'll know when it does. So be prepared, be warm, bring warm clothing. And then also just really be open to like taking opportunities and doing new things, and just go for it, because you're only here for a short amount of time, so you might as well just get that experience. Yeah, you won't regret it. It'll be awesome.
I really want to echo what Emily said about taking every opportunity. It goes by so fast before you even know it, and you really don't want to regret anything that you could have done but missed out on just because you wanted to do other things that were otherwise available to you when you get home. And also, I want to say, like, go into it open-minded, because it's a lot of my English teacher gave me this analogy. Some people are mirrors and reflect your opinions, and some people are windows and give you opportunities to see other people's opinions through your own eyes. Definitely take advantage of all the windows that you have here, because everyone comes from different backgrounds. It's 60 new people that you don't know, plus staff that you don't know. And definitely get to know everyone, because everyone has their own story and something to teach you along the way. So yeah.
I don't really have anything new to say, but just like, if there's an opportunity and you're like debating whether you should do it or not, do it, because you're not going to regret it.
I'm going to inject a question for you here, since I think this will also help Chloe out. Think about the optional activities that you've done this semester, because even though it's a different semester, many of them will be offered. Think about one that you would recommend that she take advantage of, and maybe describe it just a little bit.
Cross-country skiing has been really fun, and they have awesome trails here, and like you can pretty much ski whenever you want. And so that's been really fun. I've been enjoying that a lot.
I really loved wild rice harvesting. Even though some activities, I don't know if this will be the same every semester, but this semester there are some activities where a lot of people want to sign up, and not everyone can go who wants to go, but wild ricing has changed my perspective in so many ways, and it seems kind of a nerdy thing, but it was one of the most fun things that I've ever done this semester. So
Yeah, wild ricing was great. I was lucky to do that as well. Really just, well, if Chloe, you're coming next semester, that means you'll be coming in spring. And that means you get all the opportunities for the winter sports. Take advantage of that, because the winter sports up here are fantastic, and the little bits I've gotten to done thus far have really been great experiences.
Yeah, this was already said, but I really enjoy cross-country skiing, and also I think ice skating soon, maybe, yeah. I've heard a little bit of speculation about that, but those are some two really nice outdoor activities that are offered here, and yeah.
Great. So we have a question from Melissa. How did you make the decision to attend Conserve School, and is it hard to be away from your friends back home and like miss out on AP classes and other sort of things that were in
Yeah.
the trajectory at home?
So as far as like being away from my friends and, you know, things that I can do back home, I just I just had this mindset where I can do that when I get back. Like my home will be there, it'll still be there, but this opportunity like only lasts, you know, your sophomore/junior year. And so I might as well just go for it and take advantage of it, because it's kind of when we talk also a lot about risk taking, and it's kind of when you take that risk where you can really, really benefit from it in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, just to echo what you might want to sort of think about in terms of friends and what you're leaving back home. Everything will transfer as needed. I really don't think there's going to be any hardship jumping back into the swing of things when you get back, because this is such a crazy experience. And in terms of friends, you're going to make 60 new friends. There's going to be no shortage of time with friends, and it's really going to be all that you can get, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what they said. Making the decision to come to Conserve School was definitely hard for me. I couldn't decide on what I wanted to do with my junior year, because exchange was also a big part of my decision. Freshman and sophomore year, I was really debating between the two of those, and I didn't know what to take advantage of. And I realized that Conserve School, I only had one more chance to apply, and it was kind of like, this is it. So I applied, and I happened to get in, and I have not regretted a single moment. And yeah, the change, it's benefited me in so many ways that I am totally glad I took advantage of, even though the decision was hard at first.
Like Stefan said, I'm a big rock climber, and so it was kind of hard to come because I'm like missing a season and stuff. But I'm really glad that I did. I've learned so much here. I think as far as leaving, it wasn't that hard for me, especially because like a few of my friends actually are here this semester, so that's really nice. And so I haven't really experienced any trouble with that.
Great. Okay, this is a question that everybody wants to know all the time. Like, even if I'm out and about in town, people will ask about solos. People want to know, what was it like to camp by yourself?
Just to put this in perspective, all of the students get to do a 48-hour solo camping experience, and so that's what they're talking about. It's spread out across our 1,200-acre campus here at Conserve School.
Solos was like a really awesome experience. I really enjoyed it. I had like a super pretty solo site. It was really nice to have some time alone, because when you're here, there's like so many people and you want to be spending time with them. So like I end up not having like a lot of alone time. And so that was a really nice time to kind of like decompress and relax and just like enjoy like the silence and the stillness and everything. The one hard thing for me is like missing people, even though I wasn't gone very long. Like you're so like in depth with this community, to even be gone for like that short amount of time was kind of hard, but it was really a fun experience.
Yeah, solos was awesome for me. I was really excited to go out and go as far away from campus as possible and kind of just totally immerse myself, maybe have an enlightening experience, I don't know. But it was really fun to just, like, there was no phone, there was just complete disconnectedness, and I could just sit out there and look out at the lake. And it amplified the beauty so much more when you could just sit there and look at the tiniest things and the biggest things, and how just gorgeous it all was, and how I felt like worst case scenario, if nothing else works out for me in life, I can just go camp in the woods.
Can you also speak to in this, to clarify that you guys do actually have phones. They're just in a sealed envelope, so if you should need to call someone, you can. It's just sort of more of a practice to not be using it.
Right. It's definitely safe. Like, we did put our phones in an envelope and duct tape it up, and when you're out there, though, you really don't want to, if you don't need it, you really don't want to open it and then connect yourself. Also, there is a bandana system with the people who go out and check on you, so you have your bandana on like a high place in a tree so it's visible, and your people who will check on you will take it down, and then you put it back up so that they know you're okay. So hopefully you never have to see another person, but you're also getting checked on 3 times a day to make sure that you're doing your best.
I'm not really sure. I mean, my solo was a little different than most Conserve students' solos because I had some unexpected things happen to me while I was out there, which when you go on solos, do understand that there are wild animals out there. It's not to be afraid because they normally don't harm you, but it is a thing, and you got to be prepared for that. And that's something that I didn't really know. And one really pro tip, don't let them wrap up your phone with smelly duct tape. It's not a good thing when you need your phone.
Just to clarify, the animals didn't actually harm you, right?
No, they did.
Man, I kind of wish I had like a really eventful, cool story to tell about my solos, but it was super chill. It was just really, really nice to go at my own pace and kind of just, do my own thing, be by myself. It was, like Coulter said, it was really nice to like kind of decompress, get a little break because, we're always going, we're always around people, and that's really nice, but like, I think the solos were definitely needed because after that, it was great to see everybody else again, and we felt nice and refreshed from that trip, so I definitely like that.
Emily, what did you eat on your solo?
Okay, I ate a lot of tortillas. I learned that while you're camping, tortillas are very versatile. If you think about it, you can eat them for breakfast, lunch, dinner. You can have savory, you can have sweet. Yeah, it's just great. I love tortillas.
Did you cook anything?
I cooked. And then I had, like, we were able to pack out a sandwich. So that was like my dinner that I was really looking forward to. And then, tortillas, apples. I brought some Cliff Bars out there. Pretty minimal, but I was content.
Did you do anything on your solo, like paint or draw or journal or?
During my solos, I definitely journaled a lot. I brought a couple books out there with me as well because you're out there for quite a long time by yourself. So you can take your camera, books, anything that has kind of that quiet reflection time tied in with it. So I took my camera. I got some film out there, as well as I just read a lot. I probably read like 10 hours when I was out there.
So one thing that I wanted to ask about was most of you sound or have reported sort of that you were excited about going on them. Did you have any like nervousness or trepidation about that much alone time?
Of course, there's always jitters that come along with camping in the woods alone, but it's really not that bad. You get out there and it's really a lot of fun. And if you have things to do and you don't get too paranoid, it's really a fantastic experience and one you can really grow from. It was what I found.
I definitely think outdoor skills especially really prepared me for all of the skills that I would need over the course of the solo trip. So I was mostly just really excited because I knew that I would be prepared and I knew that worst comes to worst, I would be okay. So it was, definitely more excitement than anything.
Just to clarify, outdoor skills is our physical education class here at Conserve School. It's one of the 4 core courses that we offer, and solos are part of that curriculum for that course.
Do you mind? Can we move on?
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
Could you tell us about Stewardship Class? This is from Lisa. Could you tell us about Stewardship Class, what you do in it, and do you have a favorite activity from that class or any other class?
In stewardship, we talk about different ways of making like a social difference. We also talk about like direct action. And so we do like a very wide variety of things, from like learning like how to cook with like plants from outside, and that like creates more of a connection. We also like went out and like pulled up a bunch of like invasive species. Like last week, I think it was, we did like art like all week, and we made like posters and different ways of like spreading information, like block printing, and all kinds of stuff. And then at the end of the week, we had a project where we like made a piece of art that talked about an environmental problem. And so it's a lot of that kind of thing.
Great.
I'm actually in Coulter's stewardship class, so I would definitely echo what he has to say. And also the exposure that our teachers get us to Native American culture, which is something that I haven't previously really been educated on, even though I've definitely wanted to be. So that I would say that's one of my favorite moments about stewardship. And it is just practicing a land ethic and getting exposed to all different kinds of land ethic and how you make your land ethic known.
One big part of the stewardship curriculum is the TAP, or your Taking Action project, if you do choose to take that elective. And sort of what we do through there is really finding out what we can do and committing to research that we do in our community as well. So we're not only going through sort of what Coulter says and developing our community here, but also learning how to grow our community back home once we leave Conserve and we're no longer in this environment. So I think that's a really good thing. You can do, whatever you want to help, sort of fix the environment or work towards that endeavor. And it's really a great project that you work throughout the semester.
I'm not in stewardship, but it sounds really fun. Yeah.
Okay, so Lisa would also like to know, what does a typical weekend look like here?
Oh. Okay.
Is there a typical weekend here?
Right? I mean, I still don't know my schedule because they keep you on your toes. And, it's always, our schedules don't really change, but it's kind of crazy compared to my schedule back home. And, I never get in that rut, like that routine feel, whereas oh, it's Wednesday. Wait, what's happening Wednesday? Oh, I guess we'll just go, So it's kind of the same thing with weekends. There's always activities for you to do during the weekends, and some of them you can just come, some of them you have to sign up, and you get chosen in a lottery type style. So for example, last weekend there was a lot going on, and my mind is spacing, I can't really think, but
Have you been on any field trips?
yeah.
Yeah.
So in the warmer season, we went to the farmer's market, and I think that was offered once or twice. And also there are sometimes some overnighters, which entails camping on campus or going to the Porkies. Was that where they went? Yeah. And so there's just really great opportunities. This weekend there's a downhill skiing opportunity, and I signed up for that. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always something new to do every weekend. It's what you sign up for during the week, and you always want to make sure you do sign up so that for maybe more than one thing, so you can always get into something, because they're all really fantastic. Some of the other things we've done is groups have gone to Rhinelander a few times to pick up supplies, or I went on a mountain biking trip over to Wingman, which is really fun. I think Coulter went on that too, yeah. And there's really opportunities to do something every weekend, and it's always changing. If you don't do anything over the weekend, you have a lot of free time. You get to sleep in, which is always nice. And it's really what you make it in the weekend.
Weekends here are really fun. There's a lot of more free time, and like they said, there's a lot of activities you can do. But also there's just so much you can do here, immediately on campus. So I personally haven't even signed up for that many activities, just because I've been hiking and running and now skiing and doing so many fun things here. one like clarifying thing is like the homework on the weekends is not that bad. Like right at the beginning of the semester, I had to do like some homework on the weekends, but now like you can pretty much get it all done during study hours on Sunday. So that gives you like all of Saturday, most of Sunday, and like that and like the end too. It's for like free time, and you can like stay up late, and so that's really nice.
An example of some weekend opportunities, just looking back on last weekend, we had a hiking trip to a frozen waterfall. On Saturday evening, we had a guest speaker come in and talk about her relationship with the outdoors and how she got other people into the outdoors. We had students doing community service in Land O'Lakes and also at a nearby community. We had a student who ran an exercise to educate other students about the laws surrounding purchases of guns in different states. And that's just a fraction of the things that were going on. I took a couple students over to the ice skating rink and let them go ice skating for a little bit. So always a little bit going on.
All right, we have a question from Jenny. She asks, the next step in the application process for me is the interview. How would you recommend being successful with that?
The interview for me was not really that stressful. It was really just kind of chill and like relax and almost more of like a conversation. I don't really know. It's kind of a long time ago, but I think just like be confident with your answers and don't like second guess yourself, I guess. Like they aren't hard questions, but just like, just be like concise.
Yeah, I was definitely really nervous for my interview. The hour leading up, I was a mess. It was really nerve-wracking. But then I got on the phone I had my interview with Stephanie. And I got on the phone with Stephanie, and her voice and the way she started it was just like, hey, Georgia, we're just going to have like a little conversation and ask some questions. And it was so much fun to ask her. Like, it was definitely an open conversation, so I could even ask her questions and get to know what I possibly would be going into. And yeah, it was definitely an open conversation where it was just, where both sides were just getting to know each other. So yeah, be confident.
Yeah, one thing you can do is really know what you want to say going into it. You know, mentally prepare for whatever what you know you want out of the Conserve experience, so that they can sort of, it'll go smoother that way. Because if you're fumbling around and you don't really know what you want out of your Conserve experience, or you haven't really looked into it at all, I really recommend taking some time and just going over, what is something that I want going to Conserve, and I thought that was very helpful.
This might sound a little cliche, but just be honest. And if they ask you a question like, oh, does this scenario make you uncomfortable? Like, if it does, totally be honest. Like, that's what they're all about here, making us comfortable. And even the interview was super chill. It was like, I don't know, the people that will interview just make you feel really, really comfortable. And it's not like a hard question. It's not like a really hard math question or anything. It's just your personal preference. And also ask any questions that you think could not be answered by anybody because they'll have it, they'll have the answer. Yeah.
As someone who's participated in those interviews, on the other side, some things that I have noticed is it's because it's often a Skype or a Facebook Live or Hangouts interview, it's usually a good idea not to necessarily have a parent or somebody else in the room, because sometimes they react to your answers and make you second guess yourself, and so that can be a little bit misleading. The other thing that I think Kearney may have indirectly referred to is it's a good idea to sort of look back through what you wrote for your essay answers and questions, because there's a lot of similarity between some of the questions that are asked. And also, I know that everybody has a chance to look through the Conserve School website, but you might look through it one more time right before your interview, and maybe from that view, have a couple questions, because it seems like kids are more serious if they ask us questions about things here. So even if you don't have a real serious question, think of a couple questions to ask Stephanie just to keep her on her toes.
All right, so we have another question from a student who's attending. Anne asks, I'm attending next semester and would like to know what's the one thing you brought with you that you're thankful that you have.
I'm going to need more time for this question. Does anyone have an immediate answer?
I was very happy to bring my musical instrument.
Oh, this is a good question. There's definitely there's definitely things I wish I would have brought that I didn't think I'd use. There's like you don't realize how comfortable you'll get with people here. So we had a spirit week, and it was really fun. Like it was like half day, hippie half day, and like Throwback Thursday and stuff like that. And I brought like a few funky clothes that I didn't think I'd wear, but I brought them anyway. And I definitely like just loved having fun with it. And so yeah, I'm kind of glad I brought those things just to have fun with people and make.
So bring costumes.
Well, just bring something that you're comfortable, that you'll be comfortable with people more than you think you will. So.
Bring a hammock. It's like so much fun to go hammocking with a lot of people, and so, but it does make it like more enjoyable when there's like less people in a hammock, because like sometimes they get overcrowded and then it's not as comfortable. So yeah.
Hand soap, because I wasn't sure if I should bring hand soap or not, and then the time came around and I'm like, I'm just gonna bring hand soap in case. And yeah, I think that's a good one. Also, I brought my camera because photography is like a really big passion of mine, and it's so beautiful out here, and you get a lot of opportunities to take pictures of the different landscapes. So yeah, if you have a camera or if you're really interested in that kind of thing, I 10 out of 10 would recommend that.
Emily, can you say something about Photography Club?
Oh yeah, there's Photography Club. It's led by the English teacher, Jeff Reneke, who is also, he's worked for National Geographic, just like as kind of a background. But yeah, he's a really great photographer, and that meets every Thursday night, and we learn about different key components of photography, and then we get a prompt each week, and we go out and try to like shoot different pictures of that, and then we look at it the next meeting, and it's really, really informative. Yeah.
Great. So moving on, Liz would like to know, how do you think your transition's going to go when you go back to your old schools?
Well, yeah, that's the fire's a thing. So going back home, I have some mixed feelings about it because I really love it up here, but I love home because it's home. So from going back over Thanksgiving, I went to school one of the days, and it was surprisingly easy to go back because, well, for me anyway, I don't know how it always is for everyone else, but for me, it was really good to see my friends again. You know, they'll be super excited to, bring you back into the group, and they're really, they're great people. And so I really don't think, for me, just, make the most of your time while you're up here, and you'll be happy to go back home. Not that it's not beautiful up here or anything, but it's just, when you make the most now, and then you'll have an easier transition back.
Yeah, definitely what Tierney said. I think that sometimes I don't want to leave here. I've made so many good connections, and like it's so beautiful, and just there's so many things that I don't really want to leave, like all the windows especially. Like my school does not have that many windows, and if they do, they're like the little like 3-inch wide like slits in the wall. But I think that if I didn't have to go back, I think that this experience wouldn't be as special as it is. So I think going back, my transition will be mostly about thankfulness.
I'm homeschooled, and so going back to like school is not going to be that hard for me. I'm really excited to be back with my family. It's definitely going to be hard to like leave here, and I'm sad about leaving, but I'm also excited to go home. And I'm really lucky, and I have like a really awesome life back at home, and so I'm excited to go back to that.
We get like about a month. Well, it kind of depends on the school, but we get about 4 to 5-ish weeks of a break in between when we leave Conserve and then when we have to go back to school. And so I think that'll be a great time for reflection and kind of adjusting back to your life. You know, you're not like thrown into school, like you're sending school the next day. So that'll be nice. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing my friends and family and community.
Great. So this is a really great question we have. Could you talk to us about the advisory system and how that has impacted your experiences?
Yeah, so each student is assigned an advisor, and that's just kind of like, that's just one of the staff here, working here. So my advisor is Jeff Renicky, and what happens is you set up a meeting that happens every week, and for example, mine is on Mondays, so the little like time between, well, after morning classes and then before lunch there's this little like 15-minute period where you can kind of get yourself adjusted. And so every Monday I have my advisory meeting during that time, and it's just someone like that kind of looks out for you and, you know, is like really involved in your life. If you have a problem, you can feel free to tell them, like talk to them. They're really open to you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just to echo everything Emily said, it's just a time to sort of share what's going on in the past couple weeks and debrief and make sure everything's going smoothly. They check up on you, make sure all your homework's in and stuff, and it's fun and it's great, and it's usually pretty brief, and it's just, you know, it's good.
I think everything was said.
Any other times that you meet with your advisor besides that meeting?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Outside, they organize things. Usually, advisors have 2 to 3 other advisees, including you. And that's with Leanna, who's my advisor, who is an AP environmental science teacher. We go out. We went to her house and carved pumpkins. We made ice cream cookie bowls, which was really fun. We sometimes go over and play with her dog, Bartleby, who's one of my favorites. And then, yeah, we just you're really friends with your advisor more than like a teacher relationship.
My advisor is Michael Salat. He's a history teacher. I like him a lot. He's super fun. And at the beginning of the semester, it was really fun. It was really nice to just like know you have like an adult to like talk to if you need help for anything. You also meet for lunch one day out of the week, every Tuesday. And so that's just another time to check in. One time we went and like saw a movie, me and the 2 other girls who are part of my are his advisees. And then like just the other night I like went over to his house with them and like had dinner and stuff, and it was super fun. And so yeah, it's just like someone that you can like talk to and stuff. So yeah, I really like it.
That's great. So I have a question that I'm not really sure how any of you are going to answer because I think all of you are from Wisconsin. But, hi, my name is Clara. From someone who's used to hot weather, how is the adjustment to a new environment?
So, 2 of my best friends here at Conserve School are not from Wisconsin. One's from Arizona, the other's from California. They both have hot weather, or used to have hot weather, having hot weather. Can I speak? So I think their transitions have been relatively smooth. I know Josh, my friend from Arizona, he loves the cold weather, so he had no problems. And Jaffe, who's from California, he had never seen snow before, so it was really fun getting to introduce that to him, and it sort of just showing them, yeah, this is what cold weather feels like. It's fun. You just wear some boots and a coat, and you get out there, and it's just as much fun. Snow is things that you can pick up and make in a ball and throw things at people, and then, you can sled on it. It just means good things. That's all it does.
Yeah, so my sweet mate is from California, and she's like seen snow once or twice, but she hasn't really experienced it before. So it made me so happy for her to get to experience that, because here in Wisconsin, we're pretty used to snow, pretty used to cold temperatures, but she's loving it. She's getting into cross-country skiing, and I'm pretty sure soon skating, and she's just like really taking every opportunity she can to be outside in the snow, and she finds it amazing, and I just love that, and I'm so happy for her.
Can you address how affordable Conserve is? I think a lot of people think that they might be unable to afford going here, so this might be more of a Stefan question.
Sure. No, I can definitely address that. We strive to make Conserve School affordable for everybody who wants to come here, and to that end, you can actually go to the admissions section of our website and look under affordability, and there's actually an online calculator to estimate what your tuition will be. And we only use two factors to calculate tuition here. We look at your taxable income from the previous year and the number of dependent children in your house. Because we want you to know right now about what the tuition will be, so that you don't wait till after you accept it and then get sticker shock later on after you got so about it. You should know that for next year, if your taxable income was $65,000 or less, then the only cost to your family would be a $200 enrollment fee, plus some equipment and the cost of transportation to and from Conserve School. This year, 47.5% of the students who attended Conserve School are attending for $200 plus the equipment fees. So we have a fairly substantial financial aid budget. I believe it's one of the largest of any semester school, or probably from many schools in the country, thanks to the generosity of our founder, Jim Lowenstein. I don't know if there's anything any of you want to say about affordability, or probably not. Hopefully your parents didn't make you worry too much about it. Are there a lot of expenses out of pocket that you've had this semester? Because that's a question I often get is, how much money should they let their kids take with them?
It really all depends on what activities you participate in. Sometimes if you go to Rhinelander, there may be a $5 transportation fee just so you can get there and back on the bus or van or whatever you take. Also, there is the skiing trip coming up that's, I believe, $30 with a rental, and then another $5 for a helmet when you go to the ski hill, if you go to the ski hill. Other than that, I've just been spending my money on ice cream, and that's really about it for me. Anyone?
All right. So the next question is about homework and the homework load, and how the teachers might help you if you're struggling with it.
So one thing that the teachers do here that's very nice is they make you come in if you're behind, or if they know you're struggling. They say, hey, I'd like you to come in this time and we'll work through it together. It'll be a really good process. And there's really not a lot of backlash if you fail to turn in your homework on time. They're very understanding. And falling behind is not the biggest deal. It's really about your learning experience here, from what I've gathered. And they just want you to make the most of it. They don't want you to really worry about the homework. They want you to get outside. They want you to live a healthy lifestyle and do what's right for you. But they are always more than happy to help you on whatever you need in terms of homework and education type and academic type things.
I found that the teachers here are really accepting, and they're also very, very helpful. If you ever need help, if you ever have a question, they're very accepting to questions, whether that just be in person or if you want to send them an email, and they're pretty quick to responding as well. So they definitely provide us a lot of support, which I really, really appreciate here. And a lot of it also can be one-on-one time, because they come, it kind of rotates, but there are teachers here every school night, plus, Monday through Thursday, and then, I guess Sunday through Thursday. for what we call study hours, which is just from 8 to 10. And that's just a time in the night when we use it for just getting homework done. And there's a different teacher every night who's here staffing it. And if you have a question in that subject, or if you're struggling with a project or something, they're more than happy to help. So yeah, there's a lot of support here.
I know that's something different coming from public school. You can't exactly go and knock on your teacher's door at 9 o'clock at night at public school if you even know where they live in the first place. So the fact that we live with our teachers, the support is always there. And homework is totally manageable. Like if you don't even need, a lot of nights I don't even need both of the study hours, and you can go to bed early. Also, study hours is a great time to take advantage of, because you don't want the fear of missing out because things are always happening. But during study hours, it is a set aside time that you can work on homework, and you know for sure that no one else is doing anything because they're also all working on homework or sleeping. So that's really valuable for time management, and take advantage of that.
A lot of things have already been said, but it's like the homework isn't that bad. Like if you get behind, it could maybe get bad, but if you stay on top of it, which is not that hard to do, it's not that hard at all. And if you get behind, that's not even a really big deal either. Like you can always just redo something or turn something in late and get like full credit on it. And like Tierney said, the teachers are like really supportive of if you have something behind, but they know you're like struggling a little bit, that they'll just be like, go outside and do something instead of like get it turned in right away. They'll just like go and like go for a walk or something, and then you can work on it later.
Let me say one thing about homework too. It's one of the jobs of the advisors, and we have an online grading system, so both parents at home and advisors can see when some homework is outstanding and missing. And we also have Phil DeLong, who is our Director of Student Support, who oversees the advisory system. And so if a student does fall substantially behind, Phil will work with the student and their teachers to put together a plan. So eventually the work will get done, but we recognize that things come up and that there may need to be some modifications to the schedule.
Great. So we have another really good question here. How's the food at Conserve School?
I think it's really good. They do like a really good job of like having a wide variety of foods and like supporting a wide variety of diets. There's like a salad bar that's like out for every single meal with a lot of different options, and so like that's really nice. And then for like the main courses, they're like oftentimes like most of the time like very, very good. And so I think we're really fortunate. The kitchen team's really awesome, and they're really fun to like just hang out with. And so yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah, they do a really good job of keeping the diets diverse. There's always vegetarian options. There's always vegan options. There's always gluten-free options. They have everything and anything for anyone. There's also a really nice hummus bar. Take advantage of that because the hummus is really good here.
So tonight we had a chickpea curry, and that's my absolute favorite here. And that's just an example of like the kind of food that we have. It's not your typical, like, chicken nuggets or that kind of thing. It really branches out, which I really like, and I appreciate that.
We're located at the northern edge of Wisconsin, so it's hard for us to do predominantly locally sourced things here, but as much as we can, we do take advantage of that, and as much as we can, we make our food from scratch. So yes, we've done away with the chicken nuggets, although we do occasionally have some wonderful free-range chicken that are raised by an alum of the school to help pay for his college.
So the next question that we have is, what is your favorite place on campus?
My phonology spot. Going into what a phonology spot is in science class. This semester, every Wednesday, we take some time and we go out and we walk to a very specific spot on campus that we return to 8 times in the semester. And we sit and we experience and we journal about the spot, and we take, the date, the time, the weather, the temperature, the moon phase, whatever have you. If it's snowing, it's all great stuff. And you walk out there and you have time, and my spot is beautiful. I love my spot. You get to pick it yourself. It's not assigned at all. And it's really just to learn about documentation of very specific area, and it's a very fun experience. No?
You also have a favorite spot?
That's a super hard question because there are so many great spots on campus. For instance, the top of the sledding hill, when it is starry outside, it is the most gorgeous place that I've ever seen. The stars are gorgeous, and I thought I saw a lot of stars in Door County because there is a designated dark sky zone in Door County near my house, and then I came to Conserve, and I don't know, it's dazzling. It's absolutely dazzling. But then there's also Sunset Point, which is also a gorgeous place to go to just sit out and hammock on Big Dawn and just like enjoy the water and I don't know, the trees, and just definitely my favorite spot is out in nature.
I don't really have a favorite either. Everywhere here is just so cool, and so I don't have a favorite.
Great. Can you talk a little bit about dorm life and the housing situation and where you live?
Yeah, the dorms are really nice. We have like a washer and dryer like inner wing, as well as just like a house one, and so like laundry's really easy. There's like a small little kitchen in the lounge, and each house has a lounge that's open most of the time where you can just go and hang out during open house hours. Other people from other houses can come hang out. The wings themselves are really nice. I'm really fortunate. My wing is really awesome. I have some really cool kids in my wing. And so, yeah, it's really just like, at least for me, it's very open. Like, we just hang out a lot. You can hang out like in your wing. I don't know. We have a really good time in our wing. It's really fun.
I know that this semester there's quite a few more girls than there are guys, so the laundry situation is a little bit tougher sometimes. But it's the smallest little problem because our suites, the fact that we only have to share a bathroom with another person is so nice, and I feel so spoiled because I know it won't be like that when I go to college. And yeah, everyone is super nice, and every Sunday we have house cleaning, so everyone works together to make sure that it's all upkept, and the lounge gets cleaned and everything gets vacuumed, the laundry gets taken out, not the laundry, the trash gets taken out, the laundry room gets cleaned, and yeah, it's just such a great teamwork, like, and I just feel really bonded with my house, and there's 2 girls' houses, but it's definitely like I made a connection with a lot of the people in my house, and they're all awesome.
You said it. You have anything to add?
There's a lot of storage in our room. I brought I brought a lot of stuff. I thought I brought a lot of stuff, I guess. Then I came here, and there's just like so many drawers and like hangers and place to put your stuff. So I really wouldn't worry about like bringing too many things because I don't know. There's so much storage. I feel like I need to find stuff to put in the drawers.
So that's a great segue because the next question is, what has your biggest challenge been at Conserve School? Was that your biggest
Yeah, putting things in drawers. No, my biggest challenge. Can we get back to that? Does someone have an immediate thought?
I may have mentioned this a little earlier, but I had a very eventful solos, so that was a very good challenge for me. I won't go too into it, but yeah.
Oh, you can say a few things about it.
All right, well, I arrived at my solo camp. I was out on Inkpot Lake, which is, I believe, the farthest part from the more campus-y part of campus. And when I arrived, there was, I think it was a 15-point buck that had gotten stuck to a tree from a rope that had been left there. And I didn't realize that it was stuck to a tree, so I just ran. And I thought it was going to chase me because it was a big deer. And so, I got the teaching fellows, they had to call maintenance to get it. And there was like some blood because the deer had been traipsing around and beating itself up quite a lot to try to get free. So fast forward the night, and a wolf showed up outside of my tent. And I was sleeping there, and I hear like a thump right outside of my tent, and I look up and I go hello, and there's like this growl, and it was fun. And I mean, I was like me to her from the wolf. It was quite an experience, and I had like a little window I could see it through, and it was fun. Yeah.
How did you get rid of it?
I didn't. I waited for it to leave. Took like, it hung around for about 15 minutes and walked around my tent, and then I heard it go away, and I think it joined its pack because there was some howling or whatever, and then it came back for another 20 minutes after an hour or so. So, yeah.
That it's quite an adventurous challenge.
For the record, there hasn't been a wolf attack in Vilas County ever.
Nope.
Well, my challenge isn't that eventful.
Doesn't have to be.
I feel like my challenge has definitely been more internal than external. Finding who I am has been like a really great challenge. Definitely like something that I needed to challenge myself to do. But living in a small town, I had never been really exposed to that diversity of opinions, so I really had to start learning to develop my own. And that was definitely a challenge for me because I really just like to agree and then, move on and just not create any conflict. But it's really been eye-opening for me to just kind of realize that I do have opinions and I like to share them with other people.
I don't know. I haven't had much of a hard time with anything. I think the hardest thing for me was just not like climbing and not being with my family, I think. But other than that, it was just really smooth coming here, and everything here has been going really well.
Thank you so much. So we have one more question, then we're going to wrap it up. This is something that you guys have probably thought about before, but why should students attend Conserve School?
Well, I think it's just such an amazing opportunity for people to learn and grow and experience a lot of things that they might not have otherwise. And like Stefan said, it is a lot more affordable than like most, if not like all other boarding schools. And so, and I think it's special in a lot of ways too, with just like the teachers and the location and everything. And I think if you have the opportunity to go, you definitely should, and I think you're not going to regret it.
Yeah, really, Coulter said a lot of things, and there's honestly so many reasons to list that I would never be able to sum it up as well, but there's so many facets to the whole experience. Getting close to nature and realizing that you're part of it, not separate from it, getting close to other people and realizing that's something that you're a part of. That's something really special, and just realizing how like interconnected everything is. I don't know, just really eye-opening, and every teacher and every student has something that they can teach you, like I kind of mentioned in the beginning. And just really, you want to come here and open your mind to learning because you learn every single day so many things. It's so, you really gotta just, like Emily said, keep you on your toes and just learn all you can. Just pack it in because you'll use it later in life.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting probably the best classes you could ever get at a high school. You're getting not only that, but having class outside is nowhere else that I've seen. Just like all of what Coulter said, really, just, the experiences, you grow as a person, you grow as a family here at Conserve. You really get to meet a lot of fantastic people that I hope I will be friends with for the rest of my life. And it's just all around everything you could ever want. And good food, obviously, too.
I think a student should attend Conserve because there are just so many opportunities and experiences, and I think they should do it for the memories and for the people and the friends, and just like the learning in general. And it's not always like educational learning. It's also a lot about like learning semi-independently, and that has taught me so much being here.
Well, thank you so much. We've come to the end of our hour here, maybe run over just a little bit. And I want to start by thanking our students here who volunteered to help us out tonight. Thank you very much. If you'd like to learn more about Conserve School, I'd encourage you to check out our website at www.conserveschool.org. And especially on the website there, you can find our virtual Prospective Student Day, which includes some videos, 10-minute descriptions of our classes, a little introduction to Conserve School, some information about our student support program. We also have a virtual tour of Conserve School, so you can click around and move the camera around and take a look at the buildings and the rooms and different things there. Our YouTube channel has a lot of great snippets about some of our classes and activities. And we have, as you probably know because you're here, we have a fairly active Facebook page. So there's a lot to learn out there. If you are currently a sophomore or a freshman and thinking that this might be something for you, I encourage you to call or email our admissions office at admissions@conserveschool.org. It's a great way to get in contact with them to start that conversation and determine if this is right for you. If you're a young person who is interested in the environment, open to participating in some amazing outdoor activities, willing to do your part to be part of an intentional community of learners and lovers of nature, then take a look, and perhaps we'll find you here at Conserve School and you'll be in our panel next year.